But let's go ahead and say hi to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Hope you guys are doing well. We're just gonna jump into it. Practice some self-care. There's nothing else for us to do very much. Let's just go. Oh, bro, am I gonna have to go ahead and unmute this because music? Goedemorgen, goedenavond. Yeah, but music is too loud, brother. Wow. Wow.
第一戦区第一防衛戦隊スピアヘッドへの補給物資。少佐、このコンテナの中身は何でしょうか。
特殊弾頭です。
本当は何なんですか。
特殊弾頭です。
Oh, hey yo.
もうちょっと右。はい、ストップ。お疲れ様です。少佐も一緒にいかがですか。
You know what I'm wondering is, when are you guys going to resort to voting for a bunny girl? Or, you know, going for AZ's picks at times, you know? 86 finally winning poll, gets striked for those bits in the OP. Hey, Alan, you never know. But no, the reason why I bring it up is because, like, you guys make some interesting choices, if I do say so myself. Give me 1 second. It seems like, where's it at? For some reason, I was hearing myself double. Yeah, I was hearing myself double for a bit. That's why I was a little scared. I was like, what the fuck is going on, you know? But I think we're good. Aww.
認証開始。ブラディレーナ・ミリーゼ少佐。東部方面軍第一戦区第一防衛戦隊指揮官成果。アラレイドアクティベート。盗聴対象スピアヘッドプロセッサー。
See, Chris, that's what they say now, but when you're not here, they don't vote for it at all.
そんなにきついならやめればいいのに。こっちはあんたなんかいなくたって困らないし、別に完成してないからって何かあるわけでもないんでしょ。ククミラ少尉。意もしないくせに戦闘中にきつそうにされてると気が散って邪魔。あなたや皆さんは辛くはないのですか。あの声。痛い。お母さん。気をつけて。しょうがない子ね。シンがいなくたってどうせ断末魔の悲鳴なんてプロセッサーならいくらでも聞いてるから。
So I have a question for you guys, because clearly the society is just moving on, even though a lot of these older folks have been alive during the time when 86 were a part of that society. Have you guys noticed any other plot holes that sort of need explanation for it? Like, i.e. having a band of mercenaries or having a band of whatever, I guess like not people work for you, but having no way of shutting them down in case they revolt, or, you know, how fast people have forgotten about the other people that were living apart in the society, the amount of effort and control it would take to go ahead and manage them, or are you guys just in it for the cute waifu? Because there's a lot of different like ways that you can go ahead and take it, you know, like there's a lot of different like avenues that you can go ahead and take and see how like people have been progressing, because clearly like there's been, I don't know how to put it, like society has just completely advanced past that point where they're like, it's not even in their one's allegiance put in you. That's probably the best way I can put it. Like, I don't know, like even dissent, like say complete control over a population for 100 to 200 years. There's a lot of things to notice inside of this that you're just like, I don't know. I start to wonder, like, how can society so quickly, sociologically speaking, move on from a huge incident like that? No, this is why I have such a hard time suspending my disbelief for this anime. Because, like, yeah, like, even in 100 years, 100 years, 200 years, like, there are still people that would, like, revolt inside of that. There would still be big issues or big pushbacks. It doesn't matter how much control you have over something. Even control of the media, you would still feel little pockets of disbelief, especially if it's only a generational cycle. That's hard. So that's why I'm like, I don't know, guys, like society had just seemed to be okay with it. So it's like inherently they had already made this choice before the choice was taken from them to do this. And even then, that's still like, what?
顔が削れてなくなって体中焼けただれてお腹が裂けて内臓がはみ出て痛い苦しいって泣き叫んで仲間が死ぬのなんてみんな何度も見てる。とっくに死んだやつの声なんて別にそれに比べれば。
So here's the thing, Dark Doug, not necessarily, because this is talking about a complete and total control aspect. So imagine that, yeah, this is a complete and total control aspect as opposed to like, let's say that the US was trying to do that only one specific race was like the thing. In a generation, you're kidding me? People would be revolting on that when it used to be a mixed pot. So if it's a mixed pot versus an individual cycle, when we're talking about like people, like not, so what is it called? Like homogenetic or like same, I don't know how to put it, same standards, right? So like they all have to be like the same, like facial features, or not even facial features, but like same coordination that they're looking for, as opposed to other races being mixed in. You're gonna have a big revolt, not just a small tiny thing, which is probably gonna have to put down over and over and over and over again. So Masha, think even in situations like that, where there, because you can even look at other like African countries out there where their safety is in danger from other countries out there, they still manage to revolt against the government present at that time. I.e., even in Cuba, during the standards were say that like even the Sandinistas and a bunch of other people out there was still major revolts inside of that like stuff that was happening. Well, U.S. used black as soldiers while discriminate them and their family at all times. Well, not necessarily just black soldiers. You're talking about also Hispanics and other people out there, but they're not using them to go ahead and like only use, say, like white people supremacy in any way, shape, or form. That's my point. As if there was only one big race, you'd have other race in a melting pot country, right? You would have people revolting hard. And I'm not even just saying like little bits. I'm talking about like big protests, i.e. there are protests even now for what is happening in the Supreme Court in other cases, So even if it was control of the media, control of the population, so on and so forth, calling out these little holes that you do find in writing is important, right? You're looking at it as a people you see as an equal or taken away. But if I say a highly racist country takes those discriminated races, not necessarily, Grace. You'd still find revolt in that. So here's a reason why I would say something like that, right? Let's say that even the people inside of Japan, right? And here's why. Because if you're trying to go ahead and classify the entire country as a racial or discriminatory, or like, like let's say if they're only preferred a certain class of people, right? Inside of that, I want to use Japan as an example, right? Even in Japan, even though there were minimal foreigners and like compared to like other nations all around, if those foreigners were automatically taken out like that, the people that interacted with those foreigners during the time when they were classified as good, even though like and formed some sort of empathetic connection, there would be questions being raised, even if it wasn't to the point of revolution. The point is that like you often make connections, and those connections, those empathetic connectional points that you make, carry through with you even years down the line. This is why often you have people that will quite literally be like, I haven't seen this person in a while, and then oftentimes like these people come into play and like, oh yeah, that was a nice person. Oh yeah, this was so on and so forth, because of those empathetic connections. Granted, it can't be to the point of revolution, but you can go ahead and say, hey, you know what, people, society wouldn't just automatically advance from one point to another, even through an existential threat of blockade, war, or something huge like that, because again, it's called like putting on blinders and so on and so forth. So there are big holes in this, and it's okay to point out the holes that you do see in it, or it's okay to be like, hey, you know what, I'm surprised that I haven't seen a revolutionary aspect in this. I'm surprised that we haven't seen or heard that like the 86ers have tried to go against the major society present here, or so on and so forth, even if it means the destruction of that society. So yeah.
誰が死んだって私たちにはもう何もおかしいことなんかじゃない。戦隊各員お疲れ様です。
感度良好だ少佐。野郎ばっかりでむさ苦しくてすまねえな。
主が注意。ノーゼン隊はどうしましたか？まさか今日の戦闘で何か。
ああ、いや、寝てるだけだ。疲れたってよ。
そうですか。
前からたまに会ってな。俺たちには本当のところはわかんねえが、やっぱしんどいんじゃねえかな。四六時中ってのは。
レギオンの声のせいで。
そんなことあんたが気にしても仕方ないでしょ。こんなところにいればそういう時だってあるってだけだよ。
隊員もそうですが、やはり各員の負担が増えていますね。こうも立て続けに戦死者が出てしまっては。
Also, this is another point that raises interest in me. These para-raid activations aren't monitored. That is like, yo, are you kidding me? Anytime that you try and like, like if you're managing something, I would suspect that like higher ups or someone would at least have recordings of what is being shared, even if it's like in real time communication or whatever. If there was like major situations or other outbreaks that were happening. Yeah.
欠員の補充は私が着任してからまだ一度も実現していません。補充を急がせます。こちらに最優先で人員を送るよう手を尽くしますから。主が注意。
ああ、そうだな。
この隊は最重要拠点の防衛戦力です。優先的に補充を受ける権利があります。それまでは周りの他の隊にも応援を要請しますから。だからどうかもう少しだけ耐えてください。
ああ、まあよろしく。
はい。
それで立場もわきまえず私のところへ直談判かね、ミリーゼ少佐。
準将。スピアヘッド戦隊への人員補充の。
So AZ, let me go ahead and step in on that. I wonder if that's due to the limitation of technology. That is not necessarily the greatest thing, because even if like before rolling it out for other commanders, you would have, for example, another sergeant or another individual in there in the line, listening or hearing or even being in the actual thing. So a big advocate for freedom and democracy. Freedom and democracy, considering the fact that like of what's happening. I don't think so, dude. But like, no, putting in another individual, like often overhearing stuff before they roll anything out, like, especially when it comes to like government secrets or things like that, like, yeah, that's probably the best way I can put it out there. Like, yo.
もうこれ以上待てません。私は彼らの力になるためならどんな手も使います。たとえそれがおじさまの力にすがるようなことだったとしてもです。各部署に書類を回していますが一向に。
東部戦線への補給計画及びプロセッサーの補充はすでに決まっている。
Exactly, Vortic.
の要望についても私から伝えてやる。 まだ内々のことだから知らないだろうが。
本当ですか？補給がやっと。
だから君も君の責務をしっかりと果たしたまえ。革命祭のパーティー、準備はできているのかね？ドレスを着てパーティーに出席する。ミリゼ家の令嬢にはそれこそが大事な仕事ではないのかね。
わかりました。
Sounds good, Blade Dragon.
レーナ、あんたね。なんだって一体そんなドレスなんか、そんな真っ黒いのまるで喪服じゃない。
素敵でしょ？
She looks good in black, though. I ain't gonna lie.
このパーティーが退屈でくだらないことには同意するけど、だからっておしゃれするの
Why
は
does she sort of look like a kid now?
それなら私にはこれで十分だわ。
そういうことじゃん。
どうしたの？
Like that. Never mind. Not the front, but like that. You know, like the far away shots. This is why we watch the anime. Uh-huh.
少佐。
ノーセン隊どうかしたのですか？まさかレギオンが？
いえ、いつもの時間に同調がなかったのでこちらからつなぎましたが、問題ないでしょうか？都合が悪いようでしたら後日にしますが。
大丈夫です。すみません。
All hail the Black Drizzle.
話している時間でしたね。どうしましたか？
特殊弾頭が届いたので、そのご連絡を。
Oh, nice.
無事届きましたか？
ええ。花火、ありがとうございました。
革命祭ですから。昔お兄様とご両親と見たのでしょ？きっと他のみんなもそれぞれに。
革命祭の伝統でしたか。そちらでも見えていますか？
So I want, because it takes a lot of empathy to go ahead and do that and be able to like suggest changes like this to start happening, you know, good, bad, everything in between. We don't say fireworks or special ammunition, but now that I'm thinking about the literature, right? Literature aspects inside of the society, did they get rid of a bunch of like literature from when the time that the 86ers were there? Like, did they just burn the books? Or like, what did they do with all that like extra literature and stuff? Like, damn, dude, I'm all sad. I'm like, how much fucking like knowledge and history was probably like taken away from that? That's oof. Oof. Dang.
その意味でもありがたかったです。少佐は俺たちのことも忘れないでいてくれますか？
Heavy as Osman.
当たり前です。でもその前に死なせません。
That's a red flag. Are we gonna get like a fake death thing? Or like a death thing going up, like just like a fucking firework in the sky, it explodes and then it rescinds or some shit. Like, what are we getting here, man? That's a red flag. Black flag.
おい86、こっちもだ。お前らのご主人様からプレゼントだとさ。たく。豚ごときが人間様に手間かけさせやがって。どんな手を使っておねだりしたんだ？たく、こっちは革命祭の準備で忙しいのによ。
Oh.
何
どうしたシン？なんだこれ？
花火こんなにいっぱい。
え、少佐から？
Oh.
ねえアンジュ、さ、
何？
あの女にもういい加減話さなくていいのかなって。とうとうなんかプレゼントとか持ってきてるし。
Bruh.
心配？
Bruh.
違うってば、なんであんな女なんか。
Bruh. Y'all didn't say fucking TOS.
こ
Bruh.
れくらいはしてやってもいいかなって。それだけよ。シンもライデンもみんな黙ってるでしょ、あのこと。
Yeah, bruh.
あの女ももう繋いでなんか来ないだろうし、お互いその方がいいんじゃないかって。
いつだったかカイヤちゃんもそう言ってたものね。
悪い人じゃないから関わらない方が。
I didn't remember this was a thing. I mean, they're clearly naked in the shower.
多
Yeah, Masha Tank, but you still gotta be careful with butts and anything like that. Especially any like exposed part. Sadly, I don't have an issue with it, but you never want to go ahead and like, yeah. You don't want to press the buttons of like those that are already in Twitch.
最初に会った時に髪綺麗だなって褒めてく
This is a long ass scene in the shower, but I.
として伸ばしてるんだって分かってるのに
Oh.
綺麗な
Our Reaper will take us there. Well, who's gonna take the Reaper there when he dies or when it's his turn?
私はきっと連れて行ってもらえる。だけどでもそれならシンは
That's a flashback. Be careful. Be careful. It's a flashback. Fuck, dude. Yo, what is this technology, brother? Holy crap.
解析出ました。発射位置東北と120キロ。推定初速は秒速4000メートル。今まで確認されたことのない超長距離砲の砲撃です。作戦中止。撤退してください。撤退してください。
了解。
You better not be having any fucking weird hallucinations, man. So don't get me wrong, trauma and PTSD and stress and all of that shit can happen at any point in time, like, you know, especially in like a high stress situation, right? But that's where you gotta like, how was it named? But like, that's where you gotta like, I don't know, like, have those grounding techniques in case you do start to go through like the auditory and visual hallucinations, in order to keep yourself centered, because otherwise you might put yourself literally in harm's way. Literally. The Big Bertha.
Looks like 追撃は振り切ったみたいだな。
今すぐ補充を急がせます。今日にでもすぐに。
少佐。
Oh, bro.
こんなおかしい。
End of the road.
ミリーゼ少佐。総員、構わないな。ああ。
何を？
少佐、もういいです。あなたが何をしても、もうどうにもならない。
Fuck.
絶対、それはどういう？
補充は来ない。ただ一人も。決して。俺たちは全滅します。
You guys were just sent there to be executed. Fuck. Oof. Oof. Imagine the acceptance of that, man. That's like coming to terms to the acceptance that like, hey, from this point on, like we've already like come to terms with it. Like we know that we're like, you know, the unit that's probably gonna be like taken out. Fuck, dude.
私たちの次のプロセッサーのことよ。
俺たちが死んだ後のね。この前新品のジャガーノートが届いてたけどさ、あれもそいつら用。
は？
白豚どもは86を86から出すつもりなんざ花っからねえんだよ。
除隊までの5年。戦い切ったら自由っていうのを餌にして。
Yeah, what a coincidence.
使い潰すだけ使い潰しておいてね。ほんと豚、最悪だよね。
そんなことあるわけが。
プロセッサーの大半は除隊までに戦死。
I like how they have the time to think about all of this shit. Like, quite literally, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get them killed in the like the 4th to 5th year, but we ain't gonna actually like consider about the possibilities of our enemy attacking us. Nah, fuck that shit. We can pull that shit off. You know, we can leave our best minds to figure out what is the best way that we can get rid of all the 86ers before they come back, bruh. Bruh, fuck. When their priorities are wrong. Fuck, dude.
生き残った分頭も回るし、他の86からしたら英雄でしょ。反乱の火種にでもなったら困るからさ。
だからそういう奴らは各戦線の激戦区を転戦させられるんだ。そこで戦死するように。で、それでも死なない始末に終えない奴が最後に行き着く場所がここ。第一戦区第一戦隊スピアヘッド。戦隊員を全滅するまで戦わせるのが
I mean, if they,
この会の目的。
but realistically, if they wanted to, they could probably do it. Like, you know, take over. Because let's be honest, the majority of them are just in the parade system. They're not actually out in the front lines, and nothing, you know, unless you're getting IRL information like real time. You know, experience can trump that, especially knowing like your battlefield and whatnot. Will it Dark Thug, or is that just a guess? And that's the big thing.
全滅してやっと補充が来るってわけ。次の処刑待ちの連中がね。
守らせるためではなく、死なせるために戦わせるなんて、そんなもの虐殺ではありませんか。皆さんは知って。
ええ、ごめんなさい。
いつから？
最初からよ。戦場に行った人は、私のお姉ちゃんも誰も彼もみんな帰ってこなくて、私たちも収容所から出られなかった。白豚が約束を守ることなんかないって。
Yep.
みんな最初から分かってですか。
But that's the point, Kraith. Like, self-fulfilled prophecy, quite literally.
クズにクズな真似をされたからって同じ真似で返したら同じクズだ。ここでレギオンと戦って死ぬか諦めて死ぬしか道がねえなら死ぬ時まで戦い切って生き抜。
It's essentially all or nothing thinking, and that's a cognitive flaw in thinking pattern. You know, we either die doing this or we're scum. But this goes into any thinking pattern at all. You know, you have various thinking patterns surrounding all of this. I'm gonna bring this up. A second, go ahead and transition here. For example, right? Let me covering that. No, Dark Thug, it doesn't. So, for example, right, we have labeling, which is very, very classic. These aren't self-angering thoughts; these are more as cognitive disassociations or cognitive biases inside of thinking. Mind reading, right? He knows I can't stand that. Whenever you think that like your partner's doing that, fortune telling, vengeance, and there's more. Oh, where's it at? Should be all or nothing. Oh, I guess fortune telling fits that one. But yeah, quite literally, it's like, she will never change. There's no use in trying. He will always be like this. That all or nothing thinking that you guys see, like inside of the fortune telling, inside of the catastrophizing, inside of the should statements, which you guys have heard Brady talk about, and others. Like, let me be straight up with you guys. Constantly going with situations like that, like assuming that we know what will happen in the future when you just decide because of something that is currently happening or has happened in the past will continue to happen. That can automatically turn into emotional deregulation or dysregulation, right? But that's the number one thing. Is like, look, I'll even post it up again so you guys can see if you guys can even read that. Fortune telling, right? Nobody knows what will happen in the future. Prediction, their only guess is avoid the self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, if you're not convinced that things won't get better, they probably won't. Avoid the words no and never. So on and so forth. That sort of tells you a little bit in there. What I'm trying to get at is essentially like falling into sort of these cognitive biases or these cognitive like disassociation or issues. It's sort of like I am scum, right? Or I will die in fighting in the battlefield. And if you start breaking that down, like you can literally get into the core issue. It's like if I try and fight, then I am fighting against the individuals that cared about me, right? But they're willing to kill me because I am scum. So you start finding little circular patterns inside of their thinking patterns that you're able to go ahead and destroy. But anyway, I can't send some of these because some of these are from my work. But you can literally just type in cognitive biases, man, and it'll pop up. Or cognitive, just cognitive thinking patterns, and it'll pop up. It's one of the most common things out there. But anyway, let me go back to it. Oh no. Ah. And that's the thing, is it's a good show. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not a good show, because I think it's a good show. I don't see any post credits, unless these are post credits. I'm just fucking. Oh, these are the post credits. Oh shit. Hmm. But yeah, like, I think it's a good show, but that's the only thing, like, i.e. supervisions would always be happening, because even for, like, you can definitely find little holes that you can, like, even, like, dive deeper in and, like, genuinely question, like, how would a person or how would a thing get to this, unless either extreme military flaws, in which case, how would the military even get to this point where they're able to go ahead and do this? What about other countries around the like surrounding nations? Would they allow this situation to happen? Would they step in? Would they not step in? What is that? You can keep going down into the sociological imagination to, like, try and explain sort of like what is happening during that time. A boss fight, eight health bars and 2 armor bars. Dude, yeah, that does look like a boss fight. I ain't gonna lie. Here, let me go ahead and pull this up. Cognitive distortions. There we go. Here we go. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I'll save one and I'll post it on Discord. Give me a second though, because some of these are. Is it gonna pop up? But yeah, I think the show is good. I just think that there's like I'm kind of waiting for the sadness to hit. Because right now it's like media. This is how you know you guys are fucking me up. Right now I'm saying that this is medium sad compared to like some of the other shit that we've been seeing. So what? What? All right. Why is this only saving as a WebM3? I don't want this as a WebM3. Yeah. Sometimes it's pretty much it. Sometimes you just have to look at our own world to see how fucking wild this shit gets. Mm-hmm. This work? Yes, this works. Yeah, sadly, you guys are fucking destroying my perception as to like, like what is real sad? Is sad real, or are you just being like selective about it? You guys are fucking wild. Okay, let me go ahead and put it on here. I'll put it in wizard theories for you guys. These are called cognitive distortions. Probably one of the biggest fucking factors for anyone that's working CBT and whatnot. Oh, these are actually cognitive behavioral techniques. My bad. Wrong one. Let me find one that actually helps. All right, here we go. I found one. Oh, God, why is it a WebM? Trying to fucking pick the right one. Give me a second. I gotta pick it, otherwise I'm gonna be mad at myself. Where is it at? Okay, that works. Cognitive distortion list. There we go. Cognitive distortion list. There you go. And that for the top one is CBT. It's essentially what we do in order to help out with that. The bottom one is just cognitive distortions, different lists, different stuff that may be in there. There's more to it than just those 15. I believe there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that we can go ahead and choose from. And so you guys should be right. It's like, dude, Like I thought I knew what sadness was, and then you guys just fucking kept going and going and going. Like, damn, guys. That's a bit wild. That is a bit wild. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that brings us to the end of 86. Now, the last